Greetings. Today we're going to look at two folders in particular, life goals and things I want to do before I die, and we'll be chatting a little bit about what the difference is between the two. We will also change some of the fields in these folders, and I'll show you how we can get clever with the information that we have in these folders. So to start with, we'll go directly to the folder setup, and we will go and select life goals. There we go. Now you will notice over here that there's a delivery date that's been selected and status. I'm going to change this a little bit. I'm going to switch on objectives, and I'm going to set the alert, and I will just select two alphanumeric fields just in case I want to put a comment in there, and for now I'll just say done. So we'll go back to the folders once it's rebuilt the database and shuffle things around a little bit. And we know where we are again, and I will go to folders. Now the folder that we adjusted was life goals. That happens to be this one over here, and you will see that I've got a couple of entries in here. Now what we've done by taking out the delivery date doesn't do anything in the system in particular, whereas for instance if you had used the schedule date it would show in your planner. But what we've added in is an alert date, which in this case is in fact more useful. And here I've got two dates that I'd previously entered that says this is by when I want to get this done. So this is my overall objective, or my overall date for this particular goal are these two that I've set here. I'm now going to do another little thing. I've added in the objective. I'm going to click on the family holiday and on the property portfolio and declare them as objectives. So all I have to do to declare it as an objective is to tick on them. I'm now going to enter another item. We were speaking previously about goals and the fact that a goal should be broken up into smaller component parts so that we can measure and see how we're going. I'm going to address the issue of the family holiday in the US, and I'm simply going to add an item in here so that we can start by creating some kind of measure on that one. So I'm going to say maybe 5,000 by the end of this period, and I'm going to set an alert date on it. I'm going to say I want you to tell me when this thing comes up, and we're in February now, and I say, well, by the 1st of June this is when I want it. Now I want you to give me a couple of days notice, and I'll say done. And you will notice there's an objective field that came up there, but I ignored it for now just to show you in line what will happen. I put a note in here, I want 5,000 by the end of this period, and I made that date the 1st of the 6th. I'm going to click on this objective drop down on the side, and I'm going to say this item belongs to my objective family holiday in the USA. So a couple of things I've got in here now. The holiday itself I've got an alert on for the 30th of the 11th 2011, and I'm saying, well, I want 5,000 by the 1st of the 6th. I say, well, let's put another one in, and we set the first one for 5, and we say, well, we think that one is probably doable, but let's set the next one as well. And we go in, we say, well, let's look at maybe 4,000 by December 2010. I've got a date there, so I say, well, I said I wanted it in December. So what date in December? Well, let's say that I want it, I went a little bit far now, didn't I? Sorry, I'm going in the wrong direction, folks. By December the 1st, and I want a couple of days notice, and I say done. And again, I'm going to go and click next to it here and say attach that to the family holiday. I could have selected that directly when I was capturing the information. But in essence, what I've done is I've declared an overall objective. I've marked it as an objective that I want a family holiday in the US by the 30th of the 11th, 2011. Now, what am I going to do about it? And I'm saying, well, two of the things I'm going to do about it, to start with, is that by the 1st of the 6th, I want $5,000 in the bank against this particular holiday, and by the 1st of December, I want an additional $4,000. Now, clearly, in planning a holiday like this, there's a lot of homework that's got to be done. There's all sorts of things that's got to be done, but I won't bring that in here because my goal here is how to achieve this holiday by the 30th of the 11th. So I assume that by the time I've put it in here, I might not know what it'll all cost, but part of what I will be doing will be the homework for that. But I've set two objectives in here. Now we'll play with this information a little bit. At the top of the screen, there's the standard view and there's a view by objective. Now, the view by objective only really works once you have selected the objective field to show and you have some information against that. So what the system has done now, it still shows me all the information at the top. It shows me that those two items are not allocated to any objective at all. It shows me those two items are objectives, but look what it does now. It now shows me that against my objective of taking the family to the USA, I've got two entries. So it doesn't matter when you make the entries or how many entries you've got in here. It becomes very, very easy to group them by simply using the objective and allocating any items that you like to that objective. So I've got another one here that says get my ideal weight back, or build my property portfolio. That might be a better one. And again, I will go and put an item in against that one, and I will say that I want to get my first property worth maybe $1 million by, let's say, the end of this here. So I'll say property worth $1 million by December 2010. You see up here we have an objective, and I say, well, that belongs to my property portfolio. I'm going to set a date on this, and this time I won't go over into next here. I hope I'll catch it in time this time. And I'll say this one I'm happy for by the 31st, and give me a couple of days notice. Whoops, there I went in the wrong direction, didn't I? And I say done. So you will notice that I have now got 3 entries in here, and they are allocated to specific objectives. If I go again and select my objectives, the system now break up the information. It shows me that I've got 1 entry against my portfolio for property, and I've got 2 entries against my holiday in the USA. So that's the use of objectives, and this is how I use the alert to warn me, let me know when something